Welcome to Seeing Scarlet. It is Shelby here with Tyler, and we have a jam-packed recap episode for you. We have 3 sets of highlights because we got 3 wins to talk about, 2 from women's basketball, a massive NCAA round 1 win from soccer, which we'll lead off the show with. Then we'll get into football's recap, men's basketball. I didn't watch that game. Tyler did, maybe a little bit. It was during the soccer game. We'll talk about it a little bit. A little bit of a preview on their Bahama trip or wherever the heck they're going. And of course, soccer preview, playing the defending champs on Thursday, hopefully, in Fort Worth is what we're going to lead the show off with. So how's it going, Tyler? You ready to get this going? Lots of sports happening, lots of wins. These are my favorite episodes when there's just wins on top of wins.
Yeah, Lady Raiders are looking great. They're already 5-0. They have a big game on Thursday that we need the entire city to come out to. And then soccer advancing to round 2, taking on the defending champs, getting revenge from 2023. I mean, the storylines this week are going to be
Storylines are
super high
ripe.
stakes. So let's
Yeah.
hopefully we're on the good side of them. Storylines. Happy
Yeah,
ending.
be there on Thursday for women's basketball unless you're going to Fort Worth to watch soccer. That's an acceptable thing. And I say that because I am going to cover the game. So I'll be there doing what I do. So I am bummed I will miss the Mississippi State game because I will, spoiler alert, preview to the preview in a minute. I do think that's going to be a good game. Like, I think it could be, it's a really good team, an athletic team that you're going to get a show out there. And if we could get that win, that could be a really big win. But we'll talk more about that in a minute. But go out to the game 6 p.m. on Thursday because soccer. Well, we're about to recap their UTSA win, but they played North Carolina at 4 p.m. on Thursday. So it'll finish at like right when the women's basketball game's starting. So you see the crossover. So if Seeing Scarlet seems a little quiet right when the women's basketball game's starting, unless I hand over the keys to Twitter to Tyler, but he's working, that's why. So I'm not ignoring the team. I'm just trying to cover 2 sports at once. So let me just disclaimer out of the way. But before we get into the preview on UNC, they beat UTSA 2-1 on Friday night in front of a really nice crowd. Really, it was like, I think maybe some people forgot that it started at 6 because it wasn't the biggest crowd for the first half, but then it's like it grew in the second half, and it was really loud and chirpy. This is my favorite. They were chirping at the players the whole time, the opposing team. I love that. But yeah, we got off to a great start. We looked great. I mean, Peyton Parsons was out there doing like no look. I don't know what you call it, Sar. No look, like back flicks, heel flicks over to Kylie down the side. I don't even know if anybody noticed it but me, but that's where I was standing taking pictures. And it never led to like a goal, so I doubt it ended up in any of the highlights. But this girl was out there just making crazy plays, and she was on it, and you could tell. And then it showed up about 13 minutes in when she made an absolute scorching rocket launcher where the ball was just wiffle balling its way. It was like, as Tom Stone described it in the postgame, he was like, it was kind of right at the keeper, but it was so fast. And he was like, you could like see the Wilson whizzing by her head. Like, it was so close to her face. The keeper, she had no chance because of the movement on it. It was crazy. The ball, she got it in. We were up 1-0. That was a historic goal because it was Macy Blackburn that got it over to her. So Macy Blackburn has now broken the single season record for assist with 13 in a season. Season's still ongoing. Obviously, she owns the career record as well, the GOAT. And there's a fun little backstory to that because after the game, I asked Peyton, like, was that some sort of play that y'all put in for this team, or is that something you always have? Because it was off a corner, but we didn't take the corner. We like just short kicked it to Macy, and then Macy kicked it to Peyton and caught them off guard. And she said, no, we have it in for every game, but she was like, honestly, didn't know we were running it. So she wasn't really prepared for it. But when she saw Macy get it, then she's like, oh, crap. And so she ran over there. And I think it kind of honestly worked to our favor. You'll see in the highlights when we get to those. Because there was nobody around her. So, like, if she had been, like, set up there, like, I think they would have been standing. So it's like, hey, maybe we need to put it into the playbook. Is that a thing in soccer? The playbook, that way in the future, because she kind of caught him off guard, had tons of space, and you can't give Peyton Parsons that much space. Not Miss November. She got it done. Put it in there, and then we had a lot of chances. We outshot them like 20-5 or 20-8 or something like that. Had a few chances in this first half. Maybe it could have been 2-0. Definitely a few chances right out of halftime that very close to being 2-0. I mean, Z almost broke the frame of the goal on one shot. I've never heard a loud noise like that. I thought something like exploded when it hit that. and it bounced off. Macy hit the post as well. And then just out of nowhere, they get a free kick from midfield. And we talked about their magical season and all these crazy things that have been happening for UTSA. We'll add it to the list. Because this keeper, she was not trying to score from there. She was just trying to put a good ball up, and credit her, she did that, but it kept carrying because the wind was a little funky that day, as it is in West Texas, and it carried right over Faith. And then naturally, right when it got over Faith, it just like a drop ball in softball went. I was like, that doesn't even physically. It was like going, and then drop ball down. I was like, that okay. Is somebody got like one of those flubber? Do you even know what that movie is? You ever heard of the movie Flubber? This is the generation gap between us, but it was a movie
I have
when I was
not.
younger. They put this little thing on the back. Anyway, look it up, Google it. I was like, does we have some sort of tracker on this thing? It was wild. So anyway, they scored. She was shocked. She was like, she couldn't even believe she did it. So I was like so unconcerned. I was just laughing. I think I put it on Twitter. I was like, LOL. Like that was my response to a goal, which should not have been a response to a goal in the postseason, but I was just so unconcerned because like LOL that we would score. And we did. We came back, just peppered the goal. Even Peyton Parsons and Taylor Strzeski after the game said, yeah, it was frustrating, but we were not concerned. We knew we had been hammering the goal and we would find the winner. So they do. Kate Leibel, shout out her, always underrated. She's the one that gets the assist on the game winner. Somehow squeaked it through. You'll see in the highlights like 400 people. And then Z got it and just like muscled her way over to
Literally
a small little window. And then like an almost like floater. Like she like chipped it over the keeper for her 16th goal of the year and 7th game winner, which ties Ashley Williams for the most in a single season all time at Texas Tech for that. So another history-making goal. Maybe she can break that against UNC on Thursday.
I thought that we had control pretty much the entire game.
Word.
I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't. I mean, there really wasn't. Other than that crazy goal, I mean, even then we were getting a lot of good looks. We were out shooting them. We had possession. I mean, it was just kind of their luck that really got them there. But overall, I thought that we looked really good. It was good to kind of see that offensive production back up again, and it was good to see our defense kind of hold them down because UTSA does have some goal scorers, and we knew that they were going to fight till the very last minute, which they did. But we were able to go through. Once I saw Z have the ball there in the box, I just knew that it was over for UTSA because I was like, she just has so much power on her kick. There was no way that they were going to stop her. So I was glad that we were able to get the ball to her and that she was able to get some looks because some of them, like she was getting really close on, just wasn't able to finish. And then she was able to finish off that one. And then the Roadrunners had to say goodnight to their historical season. But other than that, we're looking great, and we're going to need that for Thursday for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out UTSA. Gained a lot of respect for them. I don't know if they bust their fans up, but they had a huge. That's the biggest visitor section we've had all year.
They
did.
Field. They had lots of them.
They brought their mascot.
They did.
They're after the game, their press conference. So we actually talked to the opposing players, which is always throws me off, but they had to get questions from us. And then this guy walked up with a little laptop, and they had their local media there, Tyler. I'm like, what? I am so impressed. Like, treating it with the respect that their program deserves. I'm here for it. I loved it. They had a great season. Earned a lot of respect from me towards their program.
Mm-hmm.
Excited to see what they do in the future with the next batch of players, for sure. So, shout out them. Let's show the highlights. The lights were a little bit at this game for some reason, even worse than normal, so it's hard to see.
Mm-hmm.
This was like 30 seconds in. Sam forced that keeper to push it over the crossbar. We're off and running quick. These highlights are very long, by the way, because I think they're NCAA, so like 4 minutes long. Or we just got lazy on cropping highlights. I don't know, but I'm here for it. I like more.
Look at a pretty good dome of defenders.
Here's Kylie Barr cooking a girl.
Not everybody back. Not bunkering down just yet.
Look at the passing. Oh, back flick.
There you go.
Okay. The crowd went crazy during that. I love it. Macy and Sam having fun out there. That's one of those that was so close. And Z, I think it was Z that was down there. She felt like it was a foul or something. She was talking to the ref afterwards. I'm always going to take her side, so obviously it was a foul. Here's the goal. So Courtright took it because she didn't feel comfortable playing that over with her left. They traded spots,
look at that.
And
left her wide open.
Wide open. I'm telling you, it's like it worked out better than if it would have if she had been standing there ready for it. I mean, did you see that ball? I think they'll show a replay. Watch it. It's like going, and the keeper's like, She didn't know if it was going to go this way or this way, and then it just went right by her head, and she couldn't get her hand up. It doesn't show it from that angle, but the back angle, it's like... The wind was wild this game. That's kind of what happened on their goal later, but...
Parsons to Skrzyncki.
Oh, this is Macy going off the post. She had a good shot here. The keeper got a hand on it, or it was going in and then hit it off the post. Macy was doing some stuff as she always does. It's Macy Blackburn. Molly Skrzyncki was everywhere.
Molly.
She almost got... That's the one that almost broke the goal. I was scared for my life. I thought a bomb went off. I was standing over there.
It has to be the way they feel. Left-footed shot.
This was a good save by Faith. I don't know if that was going to go in or not, but she made sure there was no trouble in case it got past her. And the lights again. It looks like we're playing in like under black light right now, but they got to fix that before next year. Pause. Can I put in a request? They clearly have to replace the lights. Like, it's gotten to the point of no return. Can we just go ahead and put in the ones that change colors when we score goals, like the SEC teams have? If anyone's listening. There's SEC soccer teams that have that. And I know the smoke experiment didn't go well, but lights don't hurt anybody, and we need to replace the lights anyway. Those lights are as old as the field, I think. They've run their time. And
I'm all for it.
Why not replace them with the fancy ones so at night games we can change the color of the lights when we score?
That'd be hype.
Think about the highlights. Think about the recruiting aspect. Anyway, continue. I don't know what the difference in price is, but if we have a little auxiliary money, anybody that sees this that has any power, I'm putting in a request.
Let's do it.
And it would have gone in.
Oh, apparently that would have gone in. So there you go.
Has come up here in Lubbock.
Oh, they didn't show their goal. I was hoping it would. Anyway, Peyton was on it.
Oh,
Peyton always takes it up. That's the Miss November joke. She always takes it up a notch in postseason. Always doing crazy stuff out there. That was a nice save there.
That was.
Raleigh almost.
You got to you got to capitalize right there though against UNC, but we'll let that slide. I mean, when the goalie missed it. Yeah, on the rebound, yes.
I was like, I mean.
Yeah, no, not the first.
It up quicker, but yeah, for sure.
Terrific pass.
That's a great pass. Somehow gets through. Good job by Skylar for letting it go to Z, and then Z just finds a tiny winner and just kind of chips it over the keeper. I didn't even get to see it because I was just focusing on her to get a picture, and then everyone started screaming. I was like, oh, we must have scored. Let's get. And then she was freaking out, so I figured it out. But I was like, let's hope.
16 goals on the year, and that one.
That's crazy. She's like 1 away from second place all time for a single season in goals, and I guess 2 away from tying the all-time mark. I think is 18. Macy almost killed her. I swear to God, Macy is like low-key a good Virgil. In all of these celebration things, she's like a 3 foot.
She does. I know. She's always
high. Like, we need to. I know Macy's the one kicking the corners, but we need to like swap roles and let Macy like head some in because she gets up there pretty high. I don't know. That's terrible coaching. Don't listen to me. Obviously, we want Macy taking the corners, but she can get up there. I'm impressed.
She can.
But yeah, that was the game. We could talk about it more in depth, but that was kind of the gist of it. We have to preview UNC, but let me pull up quotes from the post game real quick. But I appreciated this after the game. I asked Tom if you were there. It was a really cool moment after the game. They were like really enjoying it and celebrating it because it could be their last time for the seniors to play at Walker, and he just went to the crowd and was like clapping them on, and the players were throwing water, and he said, having been here for 19 years, I've seen this crowd grow to the point where it is now, and it's just so rewarding. It's a big part of Texas Tech soccer experience. It's not, hey, you have a great team, you go to the NCAA Tournament, you won some Big 12s, you go to some Sweet 16s, and hey, by the way, nobody cares. That's just not the storyline here. The community loves us and loves the girls. The athletic department's been nothing but generous to us. They gave us everything we need to win. And the crowd was magic. I tell the girls all the time, you're going to miss this when you're gone. You're going to miss these people cheering for you. Anyway, yeah, no, he's not wrong. It's great. If they ever posted the full press conference, you should go watch it. One of the most joyous, happy press conferences after a game. We've actually the happiest press conference we've had after a game all year. Great vibes, great stories told. I already talked about the story about the goal and the moment on the record breaker with Macy. Also asked Z about her game-winning goal. She said, every forward wants to be a goal scorer to be able to provide for my team in that instance. I want to be that person for my team so that when we can get a lead in the go-ahead goal at this time of year, it's do or go home. And in reference to setting the record or tying the record, she said, it's incredible to be in the same category as those players. I really give credit to my team and the opportunities. I wish Peyton, had the game winner tonight, but if she can't have it, then I guess I'll step up. And she laughed. She's like, it's like, okay, Z. No, they were cracking jokes the whole time. It was good stuff. So I'd suggest go watching that whole press conference as you can. It's pretty long. We got to talk to Peyton Parsons, Taylor, and then Tom as well. Should be on YouTube or Texas Tech TV. I don't know. You never know sometimes with soccer,
It'll
but it
eventually be
exists
there.
somewhere on the internet. Or you can go read the article, but there's other stuff from it that you'd enjoy.
Yeah, I think overall it was just a great game, great crowd. It definitely was a good season at the Walker. So yeah, I appreciate all the fans. It was fun getting to be
Hopefully
at
we'll
football.
be back.
Yes, hopefully we'll be back. But
Next week,
it
there's
was
a chance.
there is. How is there a
If we
chance?
win
Oh,
out and Vandy loses, we would host
the Elite Eight.
And Vandy is from the SEC, so it's very possible. Shots fired.
Ooh, that's super exciting. I didn't realize that was still up for grabs. I forget that they host all the way to the Elite Eight and then they do neutral site.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy
Only
how they
neutral
do it
site
like
is
that.
the Final Four.
Huh.
It's possible.
But yeah,
Day
no,
after
it was
Thanksgiving
cool to hear at like women's basketball and even at football. Like there was all these like people, the former '93 team at the Lady Raider game. They were all talking about, yeah, like we've had a busy week. We were at soccer on Friday night. Like football fans were like, oh yeah, like we just came back from soccer Friday night. The girls got the win. I was like, there we go, people. There we go. There we go. We had
That's what we say.
1,300
We do this
there.
every year. I wish y'all would we said this at the beginning of the year, every single season people show up for the postseason, like, man, this is fun. And I'm like, yeah, if you just come earlier in the year, but it's fine. They have good crowds, but they could be like that every night, y'all. It's great all year, but the vibes are high. There's something, postseason soccer is always better. Postseason anything's has a little bit more to it, and there's no draws, so there's that as well.
Right.
Which, going into UNC, we play them on Thursday at 4 p.m. in Fort Worth. I know there's a lot of people watching this show that are there or know people that live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You can get tickets on TCU's athletic website. We'll probably tweet it out at some point. I've posted it in some places. It'll definitely be in the preview article that I put out either Tuesday, Wednesday. When that comes out, you'll see a link to it, but I'm sure the team will. Tickets are very affordable, only $11 for just our game on Thursday, or you can pay $22 and get the whole weekend of games, meaning both games on Thursday, ours and TCU, and then the Sweet 16 game on Sunday as well. So you could just preemptively just buy it all, so we could sell out TCU Stadium with our fans when we potentially play them on Sunday for a spot in the Elite Eight. Those are things that we can talk about after we win on Thursday. But yeah, that would be hype. So we play UNC. Backstory, if you missed it, 2 years ago we played UNC in the 2023 NCAA Tournament, the Sweet 16 in Lubbock. They ended our season. It was a really good game. Lost 1-0. The number 1 overall pick in the last soccer draft to exist. Now there's not a draft. Now they just get offered contracts like they do over in Europe. But there used to be an NWSL draft back then still. Anyway, the number 1 pick, but actually the number 1 and the number 2 picks in that year's draft were on that team. One was a defender, one was an offensive player. The offensive player scored a goal, just a worldie that you would have to get it past Madison White late in the game to beat us 1-0. But we had plenty of chances. We had a chance in front of goal, 2 or 3 chances in front of goal in the first half, a couple in the second half, and UNC's depth kind of maybe won out in that game. We only had 1 day of rest back then, because it was the second game of a weekend. But we played right with them. Absolutely, we played with them. And that was a more loaded team, a more experienced UNC team than this year's, but every UNC team is talented. But, like I said, the top 2 picks in the draft were both from that team that we played against. And we were right there. And Tom kind of said that in the media availability that they had today. Again, it's not been posted yet, but it should be at some point. So we don't have video for you, but he said, different teams, both teams have different players, but it'd be a different thing if we got ran off the field basically against UNC, but we really played in that game. We were right there, so we know we can play with their athletes. We know we can do that. But it's two different teams, different, similar styles of play because it's just like what they do. Different coach. Now, that was the final year of Anson and Dorrance, the historic coach, the 2023 team. The new coach for UNC won a national championship in his first year last year. Chill. And then now this year has him back in the tournament. It's been an up and down year. They've changed out their keeper a couple of times this year. They feel like they've found who they like in the last few weeks of the season. They've been playing better, and they just upset. If you call it an upset, I think metrics didn't consider it an upset going into the game, but they beat Tennessee, who they lost to at the beginning of the year. But they beat them pretty handedly at Tennessee, 3-1. So, Tyler, what do you have on them? Yeah, Massey, all the things, whatever you always pull up. How are we going to beat the Tar Heels?
Yeah, the Tar Heels, as you said, they are definitely an offensively loaded team, and I would agree to that. Yeah, UNC is probably the best unranked team in this tournament. I mean,
Talent-wise.
talent-wise, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They have a really, 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 really great forward. Her name is Olivia Thomas. She leads the team with 13 goals, 81 shots, and 30 shots on goal on the season, and also is second on the team with 7 assists. Very, very
She
great
really
player.
gets up the lines. Like, she's a forward, but
Yes,
just their formation. But we have Macy, who didn't play 2 years ago, and
that
Kylie
is
Barr.
true.
I think
That is true.
every time I've seen her, she's always gone. I think it would be Kylie's side, but whatever. Anyway, we got people that could neutralize her, but she's fast.
Yes. And then they also have another forward slash middle fielder, Kate Fossey. Fossey, she has 11 goals on the season, 6 assists on the season. She's third in that category, 51 shots and 23 shots on goal.
Pretty sure she's the reigning national player of the year, by the way.
Yeah, she's kind of had, I mean, obviously the
weird year,
stats are
yeah.
still great, but it's also not like what she did when she was national player of the year, if that
But
makes
it's
sense.
kind of like, yeah, they talked about how, like, which I think she scored against Tennessee, so it's go time for her. She's just gonna, not against us, but whatever. Yeah, she was like more of like an assist type player, I think, until last year. Then she had like 20 something goals last year, like out of nowhere, and they won a national championship. And then she only has 11
Only
goals
11
and 6
goals.
assists.
Yes.
Like that's still like all American level. But yeah, no, she's a good player for sure. But Thomas is kind of taking over more of that. But you have 2 goal scorers over 10 goals is pretty dangerous stuff there.
It is dangerous stuff. And then they also have other goal scorers that can kind of get thrown in there in the mix. Middle fielder Linda Olmar. She has 6 goals on the season, 49 shots, and 26 shots on goal. She's actually second on shots and goals, so her shots tend to be a little bit more accurate. And then Bella Davy and Lauren Malsum also have 4 goals on the season. Bella Davy is a forward slash middle fielder, and Malsum is also middle fielder slash forward. And then Hope Munson, who has 3 assists on the team, is their lone defender that seems to be filling up the stat category box, but only really in the assist category, but as most defenders do, yes. And then they have that goalkeeping situation. Which one has been goalkeeping? Because I've been getting them confused. Because they have Hannah
The
Johan.
German one.
Okay. I'm assuming
Where's
that's
the names of them?
Or
Yeah,
Abby Gundry.
Johan. I think it's
Oh,
Johan.
Johan. Okay. She has 22 saves and 9 goals
Yes.
allowed on the season.
She's athletic for sure. She made some ridiculous saves in the Tennessee game. Yeah, you can get it past her. I think they still scored 1. But we faced some really good keepers this year.
We have.
And you just have to play good soccer. You're not going to get easy ones past her, but we have good goal scorers. But yeah, I don't know why they've started different ones, but she's been kind of their set keeper since probably like their SMU game. But like, for instance, she was not the keeper when they lost to Tennessee at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
She was the keeper when they beat Tennessee at the end of the year.
Funny how that works.
So, yeah, she's good, but she's still allowed 9 goals in 10 games or something. So like you can still get it past her. For sure, but she's athletic. You'll just have to good team soccer. Move her around. You can't just like try to take some one-on-one, like, you know what I mean? You're gonna have to move her. But she's long.
Yes.
And she has a lot of experience. Like she's a sophomore, but I think she's older. She came over from playing like on I don't understand the legalities of it. She was like playing pro over on a club team in
funny
Germany,
how that works.
And then came over. But I guess whatever, they're doing that.
Got a foreign dart over
now,
there.
So they're playing G Leaguers in college basketball, so why not, I guess.
That's the ACC.
But she was not their keeper last year when they won the championship.
just gonna load the team with lots of talent. But that is good to know though that she's played in 10 games and has allowed 9 goals. That definitely improves
I don't know how many games she's
chances,
played in.
or however many
I just
games.
made that set up. I just know it hasn't been the whole season. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
She hasn't
no,
been their set keeper since I want to say I was watching the SMU game and they were like, Hannah Johan is taking over in goal, like starting now, and so like she had played sparingly, like half games. It was like a competition, and then she kind of won it.
I see.
It's like midway through conference. I don't know the
Yeah.
story completely, but
And also the Tennessee game, Tennessee got off early on a 1-0 start, and then UNC came back and did
facts.
that. So we can't be doing like, we would have to be able to keep up, which I think we will be able to keep up with it. I mean, you're looking at these Massey ratings. Massey loves UNC, as we were talking about. That was a controversy the poor Lady Vol fans were complaining about because they're ranked number 8. They're a top 10 team according to the computer metrics. We're number 18. I think we slipped a little from last week. Their offense is ranked top 5 offense in the country, and they did not care to seed the Tar Heels because they did have a 13-6 overall record and a 6-4 ACC record, which is not usually like them. But again, the metrics go off of stats and everything, so they do still highly favor their offense in this.
The ACC is pretty good at soccer.
Yeah, it's a tough conference. So I mean, 6-4.
Fun facts: there's 8 Big 12 teams left and 9 ACC teams left. So 17 of the 32 teams remaining are from the Big 12 or the ACC.
And we get to knock out an ACC team.
We do. So we can then at least be even the rest of the way. So we're going to do the Big 12 solid. I asked Tom about that at the thing today and about how prepared he feels like the Big 12 has made them this year, not just because of the competitiveness every night, but the different styles of play. And his answer was good again. Sorry, I wish we had the video, but it doesn't exist yet, but I'm sure it will soon on line. But he kind of went through, he's like, yeah, it's every game we played in the Big 12 we knew it was going to be good. There was no games off, but also the different ways we had to win. And he was kind of going through, like, sometimes we gave up goals. Arizona State, we had to fight back. Even against UTSA, kind of like a wacky goal happens and our team regroups and comes back. And we've had teams that have, they've had teams that have like sat back. They've had teams that have put a lot of numbers forward, which he mentioned. Recently it does feel like UNC's been pushing more numbers forward. They're still watching the film to like maybe figure out what the difference is between now and earlier in the year. Someone asked them, but so maybe they will push more people forward than they were. But we played all the different styles, is what I'm saying, in the Big 12 this year, and there were no days off. And that's how the ACC is, and that's why you see 17 of 32 after the first round, is because those two conferences were the most prepared teams for the postseason, and it showed. And now we're like, we might be one of the, I don't know how many Big 12 teams and ACC teams are facing off, but this is considered one of, if not the best matchups of this round.
For sure.
Because it's Texas Tech versus UNC going at it. And whoever wins this game could absolutely make the Elite 8 by winning the next game. So it's not your season's like, let's win a game and then get murdered in the next round. Like, either team is capable of beating either of the teams that they could play. So yeah, it's going to be good soccer. I'm excited for sure. I hope the weather cooperates. That would be a bummer if it ruins it, but we're going to trust that the weather will work itself out.
Yes, hopefully it works itself out. But yeah, as you said, I mean, a very highly anticipated matchup. You get through this game, then I feel like this team can get through anything, really. I mean, UNC, Massey has not released their, their little metric of who's predicted to win and the goal scoring thing in that. But from what I've seen from the sports lines, it does seem like they're giving UNC the edge over this, understandably so. But they just underestimate the Red Raiders, and we know that we'll come out on top at the end. I think it's going to be a very close and chippy matchup, but I think we're gonna get that revenge. My final prediction: 2-1 Texas Tech. Goals.
Let's go.
Z and P. Again, I'm trusting Miss November and our all-time and our leading scorer right now.
I feel like we're gonna get like an all-time freshman moment out of Raleigh Greason in this game.
Ooh, that's a good pick. Yes, it's a really good pick.
I'm here for that. But yeah, Macy's gonna be Macy.
Yeah, and her Dallas stopping grounds. Pretty cool.
That's the thing, is like Tom Stone's from Dallas. We have a lot of players from the DFW area. We said it last week. Macy Blackburn is from here. One of the goats of the program, could help the program get to the first Elite 8 in school history in her old stomping grounds where she's from. She missed the chance to play UNC 2 years ago. Life has a way of working itself out where if you put in the work and you do the work, you'll get that chance again usually. And what do you know? She probably thought she missed out on the chance, and now she gets to do it. We lost to Duke last year, an ACC school. We get another chance with a better team this year, with a healthier team this year. Even though they've had some bumps and bruises, they have Kylie Barr back, they have Sam Court right back. Obviously, Macy in her final year. Yeah, this is fun. I mean, this is what they want to do. Like this, you can feel the energy around this team. I could feel the energy after the game was over on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been around them since then, but it sounds like they're ready to go as well. But you could feel like how excited they were to make it to Fort Worth and a chance to play North Carolina, as you should be. As Z said, there's no better opportunity than taking down the defending champs. Period.
Literally.
And we could be the ones to do that. It worked out pretty well for softball, Tyler. They took down the 4-time defending champs and made their way to the national championship. Came up a little short, but I'm telling you right now, I would love to see our soccer team in the national championship. I don't want to see them come up short, but I would love to see them there. I don't care what happens to that point. So Texas Tech has been there, done that. In another sport this year. Who says we can't have soccer do the same thing? Go team. Any final thoughts on soccer? Well, again, we could talk about them for the whole show, but lots in this episode. So I'm super hype. When they get that dub, we'll do it'll be a janky one, just like the College World Series, but we'll do a show where I'm like in some deep, dark hotel with terrible Wi-Fi, probably. Again, for vibes, we got to keep it going.
Gosh.
We'll do a show on Thursday night, or it'll maybe come out Friday morning to recap their win and preview the Sweet 16. So we'll be here for you guys. Promise. Gotta get the dub first. They cook, we cook.
Yes, get the dub, and I think that this team will be on track for historical and magical things. But I think it starts with this game right here.
Take down the ACC defending national champion. I'm getting excited. I can't. We got a few days to get there first. So that's soccer. Women's basketball, I mean, they're trying to get the vibes going. They're trying to get to their own postseason down the line, and they've set themselves up well this week, Tyler, with 2 potentially, in some way, hopefully, resume wins, at least 2 power conference wins over SMU and Arkansas most recently on Sunday. So we're going to run through the highlights and the high notes of each, and since we have 2 games to cover, I'm just going to pull up the highlights and we're going to talk as we're going through them because there's a lot to cover. Emma Nunez started the game with a 4-point play. Gerlich said after the game that was obviously not drawn up that way. They like to get to the paint and then kick out, but the girl just lost Bailey, so I found her. Sarah was solid in this. As Tyler pointed out, we had a size advantage in this game, and we used it well.
Yes, we did.
Shooters in the corners. We're shooting like over 50% from the corner on threes. I looked at the analytics the other day.
There we go, Jalen. Jalen had herself a game as usual.
She's like she must have been a point guard.
Double machine.
Danae Fritz, you just can't leave Danae Fritz that open. I don't understand what people are doing, but thank you.
Snutta Collins.
Confidence. Love to see it. She's getting a lot of praise right now.
Look at that.
On the interwebs. We love that for her. Jada Malone kind of had a breakout game in this. She had double figures in this, 10 points, 5 rebounds in this. It's good to see her settling in against a team that she could show what she could do. Her little pull-up, it's so smooth.
Yes.
Look at that pass. Underrated.
There we go.
People don't see
Open
that
for days.
Such a good pass. SMU's not very good defensively. They're all over the place, but we have players now that can find the open shooters when the defense makes mistakes, and that's the difference this year. In the past, we probably never find Bailey on that play. I love her. She just stepped over here like flop. Get out of here. I was going to be so mad if they called that. Get to the paint, kick it out to your shooters. Jalen Bristow hitting like over 40% from 3. I got a crazy Jalen Bristow stat for you. Actually, I'll hold it until after the highlights are over. But let me just say she's almost one of one in the country on some crazy stats.
Snutta Collins.
Snutta's really taking advantage of the rule to not tuck in your jersey this year. It's a new rule in basketball. I'm here for it. I always thought it was silly that they would stop games and make players tuck in their jersey. If you're comfortable like that, just go hoop.
Here's Collins.
I mean, that
Snutta made the top 5 transfer lists this week too,
she
so
did.
pretty
Actually,
cool for her.
she's technically leading us in scoring right now, like barely. We have 3 players averaging over 16 points a game right now. She's one of them. Her, Jalen.
I'm loving Sarah just doing this catch
If
and
she
shoot
could just
layup
stay,
thing.
if
Like,
Sarah
it's
could just stay
amazing.
out of foul trouble, like
Like, cook.
she's look. I see it now. The first game, I was like, I kind of see the same Sarah. Like, I was like, I'm not buying this. She's gotten any better thing. Not that she was bad. She was good, but like, I didn't see like an improved Sarah. But I've seen it like since that UTSA game where she showed a little physicality. I was like, okay. She just got to stay on the court. Like, she had a pretty good game. I think she had, was she in double figures in the SMU game? Do you have the stats up?
She only had 7 points. But
okay, we had 4 people in double figures because we've had 4 people in double figures in every game, Tyler. So I know we had 4. What were the leaders in that? I believe Bailey had a game. She was very aggressive in this game from the jump. Absolutely. Yes. Although I asked Bailey after the game because this is Bailey every time. I love her. But that's why this team's good. Is no one's like trying to be a hero or ego led, but I asked her, like, you look different out there. Like, was there a reason for that? And of course, Bailey just said something along the lines of, no, I was just hitting open shots. We have the thing on this year's team where it's all about hitting open shots, and I hadn't been doing that, and I did that tonight. And I was like, okay. But I asked Gerlich later, and Gerlich was like, no. Like, I saw it. Like, she was absolutely flipped on from the jump, and you could see it for sure. So, yeah, and she carried that over into the next game, too. She had back-to-back really good games, and she's up to over 16 points per game. But Jalen was good, if I remember right.
Yes. Yeah, Bailey shot 60%, literally had 26 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 blocks. 2 blocks, Bailey? Okay, getting up there in the block category.
That's the thing about Bailey in this. She was very active. I was sitting up in media. Ty Kaplan, who's up there with me, it's usually just me and him up in there in media bay, and he was like, Bailey's out there playing like Jacob Rodriguez, like, and she was. I was like, that's such a great description. Like, she was out there like deflecting ball, like anywhere she was punching them out. She was punching balls out. She was Coach called her the eraser after the game, which I thought was a great description. Like, when people got beat off ball, which SMU's very good. On ball, like, players, they were quick. We knew that was going to be a thing. If someone did get beat, Bailey was right there to take a charge, deflect a pass, get in their way, slow them down so their teammate could catch up. Like, she was everywhere defensively. And if she's going to be playing like that on that end, and she's capable of putting out that energy on the defensive end and still dropping 26, all-conference player.
Literally all conference player. And other all conference players, Jalen Bristow had 20 points and 10 rebounds, recorded a double-double and 2 steals and 3 blocks on top of that. Jalen, keep that up, our double-double machine. Gemma Nunez had 6 assists in this game and 6 rebounds. Getting up there. That wingspan.
She's our second leading rebounder on the team, and she's 5'6".
It's insane. But if you watch her though, like her wingspan and everything, she's all over the place on defense.
Hema just reads angles really well on defense, on rebounds. She's just always in the right spot. So it's like an art to what she does out there. She's just very, very smart.
Very, very smart on that end. And then Jada Malone, as we said, had 10 points off of there. Went 4 for 5 from field goal range. I think she's still hanging around there with her awesome above 50% overall field goal percentage. And she made her free throws, got her 5 rebounds, all the things. And she actually had 4 offensive rebounds. We talked about that when we did her preview episode. She was going to be our offensive rebounder. Yes. And we appreciate having that on the team.
We need that because we're not really great in that area, but she's been great the last 2 games in that area. So
she has. And then, of course, Snutta Collins went 6 from 8 from the field, made 2 3-pointers, had 17 points overall, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, and a block. I mean, again, as we said, top 5 transfer of the week in the entire country, according to Women's Basketball Reporting on 3. So, I mean, well deserved. Everyone really did look good in this. Sydney was able to get to the line, went 3 for 4 on her free throws, had 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. I mean, everyone was just really just filling up the stat category. Danae Fritz had 6 points, 2 steals, a block. I mean, everybody just really played their part. I mean, I loved first quarter. We were up 12-30. We haven't seen a first quarter like that since that Houston game 2 years ago. So it's good to jump off early. I think that's going to be the team's key to the season, is starting off with huge leads early so that we can keep up with our shorter bench.
Yeah, that's the formula for them to win, and they put that to play in an Arkansas game, as we'll talk about. But that's our second 30-point quarter already this year. We had 0 of those in the last 2 seasons. We've had 2 already this year.
We were
We've had a
getting
number of
30-point quarter.
28. Yeah, we gave up 20 points for the first time all season in a single quarter against Arkansas, and it was like 22. Like, it's just different. It's different. Before we move into the Arkansas game, my favorite quotes that came out of this game, the storyline that I caught on to, I was listening to the pregame radio show, and they said at the shoot-around today, I guess shoot-around was not very good at the SMU game. Happens sometimes. They weren't super focused. Wasn't going great. Coach Walters, I believe, here, and he's like, we're not coaching you to be average. We're coaching you to beat them by 25.
Dang.
They locked it in from there. They ended up winning by 31. I asked Bailey about this moment after the game, and she said, that's how our practices should be. That's how our practices should be every day. Nobody wants to be average. Nobody in our locker room wants to be average. It's our responsibility to hold ourselves to that standard. Our coaches never should have had to say that. But she said she wanted to say it locked us in and got us good. I love that kind of stuff. I love to hear that kind of stuff. I was happy that she was willing to answer that after the game. I knew once it was Bailey in there, I was like, she'll be fine answering it. So she gave a great answer. But that's the difference. That's one of the differences of this year's team is that maturity and that focus in practices. And I think they're going to need that. There's a lot of praise coming in on them right now. It's great. It's well-deserved. You lose one game, those people are going to start talking shit again. Because that's how those fake fans are. That's fine. But, like, it can't be about that. As long as this team, we've said that last week, like, as long as they block out the noise and they just keep getting better, man, the talent is there. It's absolutely there. And they're showing it. And the stats are showing it. And everything's showing it. But that line, we're not coaching you to be average. We're coaching you to beat them by 25. I felt that. And I need that to be the rest of the year. And we can just carry that into Arkansas because apparently the shoot-around went really well, and that and the practices went really well leading up to that game, they said. And they went ahead and won 80-68. This was probably like one of their more or less efficient offensive games, and it's going to happen. Gerlich says maybe they were a little tired. They just played. There's a lot of fanfare around this game, the national championship ceremony, all these things. You're really setting yourself to crash and burn, and they didn't do that. They still controlled this. They never trailed in this game at all. They led. They doubled them up multiple times in this game. Had a lead as big as 20 against Arkansas, but they did let them chip away a little bit in the second half, especially that third quarter. It's the first quarter all year, like I said earlier, that we've allowed more than 20, which it's like, oh, dang. But also I'm like, oh, dang. Like, it's like a both kind of oh dangs, you know? Like, damn. So, yeah, I think we maybe a little tired, but I think mentally tired. We were, in the third quarter, definitely, like, losing people. Like, giving a wide open looks in the corner, which is not something we've done defensively. You might see some of that in the highlights. But we found a way to get it done. Bailey was great again. Danae and her really carried late in the game. Snudda was great late in the game. Jada Malone had a great second quarter after Sarah got in foul trouble. Had like 8 points and like 4 boards in the second quarter alone to really keep our margin for us there. Once again had 5 players in double figures in this one, right? We were 1 point away from having 6 players in double figures, and that's just been the theme of the year. As Gerlich said, she thinks the parity of this team is, and the unselfishness is the biggest thing that's helping this team succeed, and you see that it's really hard for people to stop us because Jalen Bristow, for instance, had 11 points in the first half. She didn't score in the second half. Clearly, Arkansas made some adjustments. We were really ISOing people more than we've had all year, but it wasn't in a one-on-one dribble for 30 seconds on the shot clock, take a bad shot ISO. We were moving the ball around, finding the matchup that we clearly wanted. We felt like we had good matchups inside, I think, in this game, and then letting Jalen go to work, letting Jada go to work. And it was working really well in the first half. Those 2 players had probably, I guess, like 19 or 20 combined points in the first half. In the second half, they didn't score as much, if any, either of those. Snudda took over. Bailey and Danae took over late. Hema had a good game. Cool, you're going to stop one person. How are you going to stop all of them? I think that's kind of the team this year. I'm not saying we're going undefeated, but if they keep that kind of unselfish attitude, I think they'll go places. So if you have any thoughts, and then I can show the highlights and we can talk more as they're playing. But
Yeah, no, it was really good to see them dig deep, especially in that third quarter when things started off kind of sluggish for us. We were not really scoring. It seemed like it was just getting kind of tough, but then we eventually got it together. And yeah, shout out at the end with Snudda, Bailey, and Hema kind of taking it over. Hema had the dagger three at the end that really put the Hogs to sleep, and then
I
Bailey
love that
just
she just took
cherried on top it.
confidence.
It was amazing to watch because I think because you go back to the Arkansas game last year. I mean, we had a crazy inbound play that almost like screwed us over. And we almost lost that game, and we were playing with our food at that game. But this game, it's like they got a little close, and then we were like, hold on. We have shooters that are going to go shoot the three ball, dagger it in, and tell the Hogs, yeah, y'all aren't going to come back. So
Yeah,
just a
and I
vast
think
improvement.
this, and I don't know if you agree with this, and tell me you don't if you don't, but I think this Arkansas team is much better than that Arkansas team as well.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree.
I was impressed with this team. They run their offense well. They're very confident in what they do.
Well
We
coached.
forced them into like 14 turnovers in the first half. They only averaged 12. So like we really got them out of what they wanted to do in the first half. They calmed down in that area a lot in the second half. I think they only had 5 second half turnovers, something along those lines, maybe less. And that's what really helped them is they were able to get into the flow of their offense more. Maybe we were a little tired and they were moving us around more and finding open shooters, and they can shoot the damn ball. Like they got shooters.
And they
so
have depth.
yeah, I think they'll be good. I don't know that I'm not predicting them to make the tournament or anything. Probably bottom half.
I don't
of the
think
SEC
they'll be
this year,
last of the SEC like
yeah,
they
no,
predicted.
I don't think
They'll
they're going to
definitely
be the
like
doormat.
up there, a
I
little
think
in
they'll
the bottom half.
get some upsets, play good basketball, compete in a lot more games this year. That coach has them headed in the right direction for sure. They have some good athletes, some good players. I hope she's able to keep them around, especially those young ones. But yeah, I wasn't like, oh, this team's terrible. Like when we played Arkansas last year, I'm glad we beat them, but I was like, this team's not good, you know. And so, but I don't want to spend any more time talking about last year. But yeah, so let's play the highlights and we'll just talk over them a little bit more. Look at this, get out of there. Sarah was so good in this game. She only played 7 minutes though. The girl has got to stop fouling, and some of them were soft, but she had like 7 rebounds in 7 minutes or something. I love that confidence from Danae there. Like, okay, I'll just take the shot. Great take by Sarah.
Look at this, Sarah.
I mean, she was so good in the first quarter in like short spurts, rebounds, blocks, making a shot. Bailey mopping, just crushing it. So composed. We love it. Back-to-back threes from Bailey. And then she kind of like missed some shots in this game for a while. It wasn't a great shooting game for her after those 2 threes. But I appreciate late she just started taking to the basket and taking over, getting to the free throw line at least. Snowed again.
Jumper. Oh my gosh.
Similar to Bailey, wasn't the most efficient game for her, but she took over late when we needed her to. Sydney was quietly efficient in this game. She had to play a lot of minutes because Danae got in foul trouble, and she kind of did her job. Nothing flashy. Hema. The confidence to take threes. You can tell she's been putting in the work, hitting a little bit over 25% right now, which is a major improvement from her past years.
Jada Malone was working it in the paint, and I think she has familiarity with SEC basketball, obviously. But
that's true. That's a great point, actually, Tyler.
She knew what she was doing.
Great take, great. Hema was just saucing people up. I don't know what their guards are doing. Again, Arkansas is also not a good defensive team, so we're about to play a much better defensive team that'll test us on Thursday. But yeah, Gerlich talked about Jada after the game, and she said that she feels like, I asked her if it was a situation where the players maybe on this team are starting to get more used to playing with Jada, like, and vice versa. And she was like, yeah, when you've never played with a traditional or a post player, she said, as a guard, you can not trust them to pass you the ball back if you post it. Speaking from experience, yes, I get that. You don't want to give it to a post and just think that they're going to dribble the ball out, the air of the ball, and chunk up a bad shot when we got an offense to run. You know what I mean? And if Texas Tech has not really ever had a post in a while, at least not the players that are on this team, right? And so they're having to learn, like, hey, if you give it to Jada, she's going to look for you first before going to get hers. And she does this in this game a lot. And I really loved Gerlich's explanation. Go watch it. That is on YouTube. And she talks about how Jada is so high IQ and that she does a great job of catching it. And then she looks for the actions around her. She looks for the space. She makes sure that her guards around her don't need the ball right back. They don't have the best look right away. They don't have the angle. And then if all of that's clear and they're not running anything around her and she has a one-on-one thing with her player, she's like, oh, Bet. And she goes and finishes it. She's shooting 76% from the field this year right now. That's absurd, but that's what we talked about when we signed her in March that was so elite about her. If she gets it down low, she finishes. That is not question. What she has issues with and so far has this year is some of these teams we've played just haven't had a real big. They're running their Jalen Bristow at the 5, who's a forward guard, right? Like Jalen plays some 5 for us too at times, but that's what we call a small ball lineup. But some of these teams we've been playing don't have a 5. Arkansas had a more traditional 5. Even against SMU, we played some zones so she could find her way to be effective. When they have someone that stays in the lane and isn't trying to pull her out to the perimeter because they're guards, she can be really effective because she is a great post player. But our players have to keep trusting her. So I thought that was a really good explanation from Gerlich that the players are starting to learn, like, hey, we can give it to Jada and she'll make a smart play. She'll pass it back to us. She'll find us. She's made some great passes to shooters and corners this year, even in the early games. When she wasn't being very productive, she'd have an assist or two every game, and it'd be some great pass through traffic to like a corner shooter or something. So you're seeing flashes of it. I think she's still going to be a player that is going to work against some teams and maybe others. Thursday's going to be interesting just with their athletes. We'll talk about it. But you at least have seen lately, like, she's going to be a problem for teams that have a traditional post that's a similar size for her because she is such an elite finisher. And if she's going to offensive rebound the way she did in this game, my God. There's one later, it better be in the highlights, where she just, like, mosses a person and goes and gets off after a Jalen shot. It should be soon if it's in the highlights.
Working on Mayberry.
You're too smooth. Too smooth. Here's it is right here. Watch Jada. Look at her. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. You gonna block me out? Good luck. Easy money. Jalen is just hitting over 40% from 3 is ridiculous for everything else she does. The passing here, the confidence from Danae. Again, she didn't get to play a ton in this game because of foul trouble, but she started the first half and the second half of the 3 for us. And then she started getting real aggressive late in the game. She had a couple of drives to the basket and really needed points when they were trying to come in. It's good to see. Asked her about that after the game. She said it was the first chance this year that she got to show that. And as I said earlier, Bailey wasn't super efficient in this game, but she started driving to the basket and getting and ones. Missed a couple free throws. Don't cry, Tyler. Perhaps some dead legs there were getting us late in the game. But I like that she was attacking to the rim and being aggressive. And this is that big shot you talked about from Hema Nunez. Great. Look at that pass from Bailey. And then Hema, no hesitation. You can tell she's been putting in the work. She trusts herself. She's never been afraid to take big shots, even at Campbell. That pass, Hema. I need y'all to watch this right here. This specific moment. So I did a story on Bailey and Danae. You can go read it, and maybe I'll give you some quotes in a second. But watch these two right now. Danae's the one that makes the pass to Bailey, who makes it, and they do the same celebration at the same time if you watch closely. Like, Danae is celebrating as if she made the 3. I just love that. They both do the kiss thing at the same exact time. If someone had, I need to go watch the replay on TV because maybe they showed it, but I haven't watched the thing on TV yet. But if somebody had an angle dead on from that, it would do numbers because they're like so in sync. She passes it, and then Bailey's like this, and Danae at the exact same time does the same exact celebration. And it wasn't even Danae's 3. She's just celebrating for Bailey, who made it behind her off of her pass. Like, that is the chemistry and the trust that this team's developing. And they got like a cheap bucket at the end, or it would have been a 16-point win. But yeah, wasn't the prettiest game, but we still won by 12 over an SC opponent. Still had 5 players in double figures, scored 80 points. We're 4th in the Big 12 right now in scoring, Tyler. 80 points a game. Like, we're doing good stuff in this for sure.
Yeah, no, we're definitely. I'm loving the scoring, honestly. Like, just seeing us reach up into that 80, 90 mark against like really good teams and opponents. It's just good to see because it's also like we also do have defense as well. Like, our defense was what held us in this game, especially in that third quarter when we were slow. So it's kind of good to have both ends of the basketball like really flowing right so that we can get these wins because it's just good to see offense. I'm just so happy to see that we are keeping the streak of like 4+ players getting double figure points. I mean,
Yeah.
this is like we're living the dream right now.
Some quick facts. Fourth in the Big 12 in scoring, 82 points per game. Eighth in the Big 12 in defense, allowing 54 points per game. We've played one of the harder schedules in the Big 12, to be fair, and we're still eighth and allowing only 54 points. The only Big 12 team with 3 players in the top 16 of individual scoring. TCU has 3 if you go down to the top 17, but hey, I said top 16. Still impressive. We have 3 players all averaging 16 points or more in Jalen Bristow, Bailey Maupin, and Snow Collins right now. And we have a 4th in Danae Fritz. It's like a 9.8 points, so we almost have 4 double-figure scores, which I know will make Tyler pass out. We'll see if that continues as the schedule gets better, but we've played 2 Power 4 teams. And then these are the crazy stats. I called them our silly stat unicorns earlier in the year because they were doing stuff. Jalen Bristow and Hema Nunez continue to put up silly stats. Jalen Bristow is right now currently one of 2 players in the country averaging at least 16 points, 1.5 assists, 1.5 steals, 7 rebounds, and 3 blocks a game. The other one is Claire, whatever the big is at Kentucky. But if you add in shooting 40% from 3 to that unicorn list, she is the only player in the country. And you could even go down to 25% because the Clara girl at Kentucky only shoots 25% from 3. So it could be much lower than that, and she would be the only person. That's the unicorn that is Jalen Bristow. We talked about that in the preview. Nobody can do the shit that Jalen Bristow does. It just doesn't make sense to be able to block shots, rebound the ball, and shoot 40. It doesn't. She's insane if she keeps this up. And then Hema Nunez, which other people that watch it may not think she's as flashy, but we told you that she was like one of 2 people last year to average her stat line at Campbell. She's doing the same thing again, Tyler. She's actually, Hema's the only player in the country right now averaging 7 points, 5.5 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and less than 2 turnovers a game in the nation.
Wow.
That is my answer when people say, is this team actually good? Or are they just playing, or are they just doing, like, people have this incorrect narrative about the Lady Raiders that they're non-cons, that they always wreck shop in the non-cons and then suck in conference. And I'm like, one, they didn't wreck shop in the non-con last year, so what are you watching? And they've dropped games in the non-con before, and their non-cons actually have been competitive. And anyway, but that's the online problem. When people don't watch, they buy what they read. So people are asking that, and I'm like, I get it, cool, whatever. Watch the games yourself. This shit is wild. We weren't doing this. We didn't have 4 people shooting over 40% from 3 5 games into the season. These things were happening. Now they have to keep doing it. They have to keep getting better. But it wasn't happening. So we got to preview Mississippi State real fast, but that's kind of my answer is, yeah, they're playing good basketball. They just got to keep doing it. But there's so many people contributing, and the stats support it. Like, it's not a fluke. There's no one playing above their heads or doing something. I mean, it's crazy stuff, but it's like they're just playing basketball and doing what they do.
Yeah, super exciting stuff. I really do see it in the team. Again, I've already been drinking the Kool-Aid, but I'm excited to see how we finish out, especially with the big, big, big game on Thursday.
Yeah, and we're like already well into the show, so we'll just keep it brief on Mississippi State. We kind of mentioned earlier, they have a lot of really good athletes. Sam Purcell, what is his name? Their coach. Purcell is a great coach, came over from Louisville. He's just had trouble keeping people there because in the NIL age, so he has to like redo his rosters every year. He did that again this year. Nine newcomers, only 3 returners. 6 of those are transfers, 3 are freshmen, and 2 of those were top 40 players in the nation as freshmen. They have the number 11 recruiting class this year, and one of them, is it Madison Francis?
Francis, yes.
She's impressive. I watched their game against Jackson State. She's the one that jumped out to me. Like, anybody that watches their games will be like, she's good. She's going to be, like, she could be an All-American player. I'm not even kidding. If she's already looks like this as a freshman, she has some holes. She doesn't shoot threes at all, so I'm sure you can do some, like, sag-off defenses on her and stuff. But defensively, she's very long. What did you say, second in the nation in blocks? So you said?
Yes, second in the nation in blocks.
And she doesn't even start right now. I wouldn't be shocked if she starts against us because, like, she's kind of the player that they probably want to guard Jalen. Jalen and her are similar. The differences is I would say Madison's probably a little bit better defender right now. She has a little bit more strength to her, but she doesn't shoot threes, so she's gonna have to guard a player in Jalen on the perimeter and inside. But Francis can take people off the dribble. She made some crazy 360 shot against Jackson State on the baseline. So Jalen's going to have to stay out of foul trouble. Snowder maybe can get some minutes on her. Sarah's going to have to get on her when she gets in the game. But she's the one that jumped out to me. They don't shoot a lot of threes, at least stats-wise, but they do shoot it well, over 40%, so that's interesting. They run good offense. We talked about against Arkansas where we got a little mentally tired, maybe even physically tired, and we're leaving people wide open on actions. Mississippi State will force you to make good decisions on defense. You're going to have to be really mentally locked in on that end because they run a lot. They had like a high post player come out and set 3 screens in a row on a play that I was watching. She set a screen, turned around, set another screen. Then the girl got the ball, and then she did a pick and roll with that girl and was running, and then the defender came over to her, so the player had a wide open layup. It was all the same player, and made people make like 4 decisions in a row. And if they made one wrong decision, and they finally did, they had a wide open layup. I think that's why they don't take a lot of threes, is they're trying to get you to mess up. And when you mess up, they take advantage. That's kind of their thing. They've been missing their point guard. She came back in their last game on a minutes restriction, but that's probably going to help them a little bit. Very athletic team. Very young, though. They have some young pieces. Hopefully, I think it'll be a close game. I mean, I hope it's not a close game, but probably will be a tight game. Our experience will come out in this. Also think you could force them in some turnovers. They had been turning it over quite a bit before their last game, but they played against a team that ran a zone, and so their turnover numbers came down quite a bit. We do not run a zone, at least not full-time. We're going to get after them, and we're going to see if they can handle it, and we're just going to have to be good. Similar athletes to SMU, for sure. I just think Mississippi State has the athletes, but they're also more organized and skilled as well. But we have advantages that we can go at them, for sure. Another team that's similar in height and all those things, probably more skilled down low than SMU was.
Yeah, Mississippi State, I think it's going to be a lot tougher of a game. I think this is arguably our best non-conference opponent that we're playing this season. We're 7-point favorites in this game. And yeah, as you said, they really did throw darts. They have a foreign dart that can't be missed either. She's number 7 in the nation in rebounds. Number 25, Favor Noidozi. I don't know how to say that, but she came from Nigeria.
She's very active.
Yes, very active. 13 points and 12.8 rebounds average per game. She literally is a walking double-double for them and 2 assists. She's a 6'3" forward. She can kind of get in there. Madison Francis, as you said, number 35 in the class of 2025 and the 7th ranked forward. Good. They've been running everything through her. She averages 4 blocks per game. They also have Chandler Prater. Name sounds familiar. She's been all over the Big 12. Now she's ending her career in the SEC. She scored 14 against us in 2021, and then she didn't score the following year at Kansas. Then she just never played at Oklahoma State, only a few games. Now she's over here. She's also doing pretty good. She's been their 3-point shooter when they do decide that they want to go out to the perimeter and shoot some 3-point balls. And then they also kind of have this, they have a bunch of forwards, a bunch of guards, a bunch of forwards, but they do have a forward, Carissa Richardson, and there was the drama that happened because she transferred from Ole Miss. It was some in-state transfer drama on Twitter. I think she actually did play at Ole Miss when Snudda was there, but she's averaging 5.5 points, 4.2 rebounds. If you ask me what player I think needs to step up in this game, and they have been stepping up, I think this is the Snudda Collins game. I need her and Coach Jada to bring back that hatred for Hail State, Mississippi State, and I just need them to absolutely just have a showing. Just have a showing in this game. Go back to your SEC days where you absolutely cannot stand Mississippi State, and we just need to go at it and just tackle them. But I think I'm going with that. And also, I'd be interested to see if our defense tends to try to kick them out and try to test the waters with the 3-point line a little bit. Like, I really want to kind of force them to do that. They're very paint heavy.
They can shoot. I mean, the numbers aren't bad, but they just don't. They're definitely just trying to get you to mess up, and they're trying to get to the rim a lot. That's where a lot of their shots come. So yeah, I mean, especially on Francis. I don't know. I would think a sagging type man might be happening on her because she's going to take you off the dribble for sure. Mm-hmm. Now, you don't want to get like tentative and not try to turn her over because they do struggle with turnovers. But at the same time, if they didn't get to shoot the 3, like, why are you going to give her this step on you? So, yeah, I'm sure we'll be smart. After SMU, I have a lot more, like, I didn't know how really, we just hadn't done well against those types in the past, but our game plan was really solid, and our players executed it really well against SMU. This is kind of that, but a step up. But again, we beat SMU by 31. So like, even if Mississippi State is a step up, now we're gonna need to shoot it as well. We just played really well against SMU and hit every open shot. So same kind of stuff. I wouldn't mind a close game to get better, and I say that, but I'm like, also let's just murder them. Let's make it easy. I think what Tyler said earlier, I agree with that. The formula for our team. I'm not saying we can't come back in games. We just haven't had the chance to show that yet, I guess. But we are going to be hard to beat this year. I will say that with confidence when we get a lead, like a pretty, like a 10+ point lead, especially more than that, because of our options on offense. If a team tries to go on a run, I mean, Arkansas was hitting some crazy shots. And like we were like, okay, bet we'll just go get a basket and like stop your run. They might get on a 5-0 run, then we hit a 3. Like it just never was able to get out because we have people everywhere that could score this year to stop those runs. So they might cut down a 20-point lead to 11, but it's hard to cut down a 20-point lead to 0 against us this year. So yeah, every team wants to get off to a fast start, but I do agree that just because of our depth, if we could come out of the gates, kind of like what West Virginia does to people, where they did last year. They blitzed them early and then they kind of hung on. It's kind of like that kind of style. But yeah, I don't know. We haven't played enough to really know that yet, but that seems like the early formula. Yeah, I'm bummed I won't be able to be there. I'll definitely watch it at some point on TV. Hopefully I'll be able to at least watch the second half live, but I'll be doing like post game and stuff with soccer, so I really don't know when I'll get to watch this game. But I hope I'm like wrapping up. I'm getting on Twitter and we're ahead, like 20, or we've just won the game, and I'll be doing. Don't worry, I'll find a way to hype the shit out of the game. Still, Tyler will send content. I don't even, because the problem is like Erica can't even take pictures for us because I gotta take my camera to soccer, so we won't even have pictures unless Erica will probably be out there taking pictures on her phone. Who knows? But we won't have the usual stuff, so I hate that. But hey, Seeing Scarlet has never had that before until this year, so you'll have all survived until now. It's just gonna be old school Seeing Scarlet, where I'm yapping about the game from afar. But Tyler will be there in person, so when we do our recap, he can give you that vibes from it.
Rundown.
We still have somebody there, but he's working, so I can't be like, Tyler, tweet. So I just might not be super active on Twitter during that game, but don't worry, when we win, I'll still hype the shit out of it.
For sure. The big game, y'all be there on Thursday. Please be there. Support the team. They're gonna need it. Big SEC game. We gotta win it.
Yep, for sure. Be there. I think it's like sitcom night or something, so probably gonna be a lot of fun puns and games and things happening.
Yes.
Men's basketball, I didn't watch the game, so I'm just going to say we won 80-63. I know that Grant, after the game, wasn't happy with the competitiveness. It was a really close game until the end, but we, similar to Arkansas with the women's team, pulled away late, got the win. I've said it before, that's all that matters in November. Just survive in advance. I haven't even watched it, but it's probably the same stuff I said last week. This team just still has a long ways to go, in my opinion, chemistry-wise. But Grant has earned that trust from me that he will get them there. And so until we have a season where he doesn't, I'm going to say he's going to get them there because the talent's there. They just have to learn how to play together and figure out who's going to be the alpha. I think the leadership on this team is still my question. And I said that before the year because LaJuan Watts was interviewed. He talked about in that interview how like he was working on being more vocal and he had never been a leader before. And that he was like, I need to step up and lead on this team. And I was like, that's interesting to me and concerning because like why does he need to do that? Why is that not JT or Christian or whatever? But that's just where we are. You lost 2 big leaders in Chance, especially last year, and I think that's maybe a part of that competitiveness issue is like they're trying to get that out of each other. I'm just guessing early in the year. That's kind of my read on the team. Talent's there though. They just got to figure it out. He's earned that trust. They're heading to the Bahamas, Tyler. They could possibly play the number 1 team in the country, correct?
Yes, Purdue.
That could be fun. On Friday?
Yes, on Friday.
If the bracket falls correctly. Who do they play first?
Wake Forest, who played somebody,
ACC.
Michigan, close, I think, the other night.
Before our game, yeah. Yeah, things don't usually go well for our basketball teams in tropical locations, but this will be the year, maybe.
Hopefully it is.
Hopefully. We'll just move into football, recap it, close out the show real quick. there's not a lot to say about this game except thank you, seniors. Another uneventful home game, but that's because you played so well. 48-9. UCF is not good at football, Tyler.
Yeah, I said it on the show last week. Their fans were just so depressed and drained.
Yeah, and their defense is usually a lot better, but apparently they were missing a lot of people in this game that just like didn't play. I was like, okay, cool. It's quitting on your team, but anyway. So then their defense was even not good. We scored in like 20 seconds in this game. I was like, well, this is gonna be a massacre. I just started documenting the tarps off stuff. I was like not even paying attention to the game. I was just tweeting about the growing tarps off section. I have a video of when there was only 3 people up there, the first 3 people that started it, and it grew up from there. So that was my takeaway from the game. Everybody looked good. Mitch Griffiths even looked good.
He did.
Barron looked good before he came out. I was glad that we didn't play Barron Platt. He didn't even finish the first half. Set him. Reggie Virgil had a game. Okay, we don't have time to get into it too much, but go watch the post game. At least Reggie Virgil's part. Hilarious human being. The post game for football was a straight up comedy show. They were all cracking jokes. It was good times.
That's great. No, that's really great. Yeah, I mean the team's earned it. They're doing some really great things. They get the bye week this week, so they'll get a nice little break before they close off the season in Morgantown, West Virginia. But yeah, I mean overall it was just a very I know, next week problems, but overall it was just a very solid win, and I think we can't go without mentioning Jacob Rodriguez for Heisman. The hype meter in that
I feel
stadium.
Like it's gonna happen.
When he had that offensive touchdown, ran in for a 2-yard touchdown, took it in, everyone was going insane, was going nuts.
He talked about that after the game. People aren't aware, Jacob Rodriguez was a high school quarterback. He actually had better stats at the Virginia high school that he was at than JT Barrett, who was like an All-American Heisman candidate for Ohio State a few years ago. He was at the same high school as that guy and had better stats as him. Anyway, he went to college as a quarterback, was at Virginia, then he moved around to linebacker and ended up at Texas Tech. So he's comfortable taking a snap, but he went out there, he's like, I thought it was supposed to be quiet on offense. He's like, when they all saw that I was out there, it got so loud. He's like, all I was focusing on was making sure I said the cadence correctly and loud enough because the crowd was going crazy. And he's like, I thought it's supposed to be quiet. Basically, the crowd was too hype. But he was like, he said the offensive line created such a big hole. He's like, Skyler could have scooted through it on his little scooter.
Oh my god, so funny.
Jacob said, I'm telling you, the whole thing was a comedy show. You should go watch it for sure. They were enjoying themselves.
Yeah, he had himself a game. Also had an interception. Had a 7-yard interception with that. Led the team with tackles with 9. I mean, he was just always on one. Yeah, barely played 2. Just on one the entire game. UCF really stood no chance. And honestly, like UCF probably would have only had 7 points in this game had we not given up a safety. We were just giving them free points because we felt bad, pity points.
Yeah.
I mean that's pretty much the summary of the game.
That one random drive where they decided to play football, which has happened back-to-back games. Which shout out Cole Wisniewski after the game said we can't be doing that where we just like have one letdown drive, which we love that from Cole. I said that earlier in the year. I wanted him to become like a vocal leader because he's been there, and I feel like he started to kind of take hold of the defense a little bit because he's been in a lot of the press conferences lately. So yeah, they're still very focused, even though they're cracking jokes and stuff. It's like they know this team doesn't care. I talked about that with women's basketball, about the outside noise and people praising them and all that. I'm telling you right now, the football does not care. They appreciate it and they love the fans and like all. You can just tell that they're just like, yeah, this is cool, but like it's not like we have another game to play. Like even last week after the game day stuff, it was very like, well, that was fun, but all right, what's next? Like they're just they're pros. I mean, they're being paid like pros, so they're operating like pros, which I appreciate. So yeah. They're still having fun though. They are college kids, but there's a different level of focus to them, so it's important. I'll segue this to close out the show. You talked about UCF. I was in the press box. Bless their hearts. I got to meet a lot of the UCF media. They follow Seeing Scarlet, by the way, Tyler, because I said, hey, do you know Eric Lopez? And they said, yeah. He does softball. I was like, yeah, I cover football for them too, but I'm do a lot of soccer and softball. And he's like, oh my gosh, are you that Seeing Scarlet? He's like, we follow you. And yeah, Eric knows you.
We love that.
Anyway. So I got to know them, but they were like 3 seats down, and after up team touchdown or interception or something. I don't remember what happened. You could just hear them saying, "It's fine, we're a soccer school now." Because their women's team won in the first round of the NCAA tournament the night before in soccer, and their men's team's always good at soccer. They're like a really, really good soccer team on the men's side, and they're like really high-seeded team that just got selected for the NCAA tournament. So that's my segue in the show is they're a soccer school only, but we're both. Because we're going to win the NCAA tournament on Thursday. We're going to take the defending champions on Thursday, just like our softball team, because we're also a softball school. Took down the defending champions. And then football, who's the defending champion in football right now? Is it Ohio State?
Ohio State.
Football is currently matched up in the most recent playoff thing that came out last week, I guess, or someone's predicted one, to play Ohio State in the second round if we make it there. So then football's going to knock off the defending national champions. That's what's going to happen. That's the story of 25. We're going to knock off 3 defending champions in the year of 2025. Maybe crossover in 2026, depending on football's timeline.
Let's do it.
That's all I got, Tyler.
Let's
all right. Let's do it. Go to all the sports, all the things. We'll be back when we're back. I don't know. Later this week or early next week. Rack 'em.
Rack 'em.